We are going to create a podcast from nothing. I asked ChatGPT to create a short script for what are some ways to improve intimacy. And it's going to be Chris and Jessica. There are all of these different languages that we can create the podcast in. I'm going to go in English. It's a short document. It's very short. It's like a couple of pages. And then apparently we can come down here and give it some more information. Okay, so I basically am asking it for the podcast focus to be focus on husband and wife relationships, give sample stories to help better understand each point. Save changes, and then we're going to hit generate. We'll see how this goes. What I forgot to show is that you can also select the format or select the podcast format. It could be conversation or a bulletin. Also, duration can be short, default, or long. It has now created the podcast, so we're just going to listen to it.
Marriage intimacy. Most couples think it's all about the physical connection. But research shows that emotional intimacy accounts for over 70% of relationship satisfaction. Today, we're exploring how different types of intimacy work together to create lasting bonds.
That's such an interesting statistic. It reminds me of that groundbreaking study where couples who spent just 20 minutes a day in meaningful conversation reported 40% higher relationship satisfaction.
Well, you know what's fascinating about that research is how it connects to the story of Mark and Sarah, a couple married for 15 years. They were doing everything right on paper. Shared meals, family vacations, the works. But they discovered they hadn't had a real heart-to-heart conversation in months.
How did they finally recognize that disconnect?
So, here's what's really interesting. It took attending a friend's wedding to wake them up. Sarah watched the couple exchange personally written vows and realized she couldn't remember the last time she'd shared her deeper feelings with Mark. That moment led them to develop what they called their connection ritual, 15 minutes of uninterrupted sharing each evening.
That reminds me of the research showing that couples who practice intentional listening for just 10 minutes a day show measurable improvements in relationship satisfaction within 2 weeks.
It's a little robotic, but I think it's a matter of finding the right sound or the right audio. And this is the beginning stages of how this is going to look. So if you're interested in creating podcasts or audiobooks or dubbing your videos into different languages, I think it's got about 20 different languages. And also just come up with a bunch of different channels, each for different topics. You can create a whole different podcast for it. You can create a lot of different types of audiobooks in different languages. And this is, again, the beginning stages of it. So it's going to keep getting updated. And once AI gets more updated, it will get even better. I've left the affiliate link down below for you to check it out.